Hello and welcome back to the Captain's Table, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Paul Berserker01 Batman Shelley. This is our 24-hour Captain's Table. We have crushed our $2,000 goal. We are currently raising money for charity. We are currently looking at pulling up the Tiltify. We're currently at $2,083.36, yeah. We're giving away, if you're live here, we're giving away a Avenger Titan LTI gameplay game package, courtesy of CIG. Thank you, CIG. So make sure that you are entered to win that. If you're here live, exclamation point giveaway 24. We'll get into that one. And be pulling that here later tonight. So probably after this session, because it's getting super late for most people. So, but we have one face who's already been here today, so we might have some repeat answers, but another brand new face, brand new person to the table even. So let's start with Darj on this one. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you? AKA, I'll also say this again because I said it incorrectly last time. Prince of Pluto and Emperor of Uranus. So,
and the resident meme lord of
yes.
the Star Citizen community. Hello, I am Darionator. I do stuff like this most of the time. I come on talk shows and I wax poetical. And but when I'm not busy with that, I prowl the Star Citizen community in search of good things, good memes, good screenshots, stuff like that. Try to not be as salty as I sometimes am. It's an uphill battle, but when I'm not busy with that, I'm also with Paul on tabletop things like Star Trek and Star Wars. And is there another?
JRDF. JRDF.
No, I mean that's not a tabletop though.
Oh no, tabletop. It was just that's it. I think Star Trek and Star Wars.
On the Spice Must Roll. So check that out on YouTube.
Yeah.
But yes, I keep forgetting that. I'm such a bad employee. I work with JRDF, who make Star Citizen kit models in various scales and various walks of life. We have a Carrick, we have a freelancer. There's an MSR coming. Goody stuff like that.
All right, and
JRDF is also sponsoring a contest on the Star Citizen website. Yeah, so check that out. For CitizenCon you can win something.
It's giveaway 24. I don't know what I said. I'm tired, so just deal with it. Thank you, chat. Sorry, chat. I don't know if chat's messing with me or if they just literally they misheard me or I said something wrong. So.
Gin and tonic, there's always talks about that sort of stuff. So yeah.
I have information, but it's NDA. That's all I'm going to say.
Exactly. Unfortunately for now, still NDA. But yes, there are talks about exactly the sort of stuff you're thinking about.
Yes. All right, and then we've got a new face, Mr. Kale Katarn. Who are you? What do you do in Star Citizen, and where can they find you?
Hello, my name is Kale Katarn. I do poorly in Star Citizen, and I don't really have much in the way of social media right now, but hopefully after my career change, I will eventually be able to, do some Twitch here and there, do some streaming on occasion, maybe do some compilation videos, just low-level streamer, content creator type stuff. But that's me. I like to do low flying. I like to explore in my 315P. Thank you, Paul, for turning me onto that ship.
It's the best ship in the game. One of the best ships
absolutely,
in the game.
100%. I love that thing so much. That's it. That's me.
Awesome. And where can they find you? Is it Kale_Katarn, Twitch.tv or YouTube? Or?
Yes. I have no videos on it right now because I stream about as frequently as nothing. I got nothing on that one.
Okay.
So don't worry about a follow right now.
Why 315 over 325? Because the 315 has 12 SCU of cargo. It's huge.
and also a currently non-functioning tractor beam, but that's probably
Yes.
going to change very soon.
Yes.
Yep. Once that tractor beam comes online, you'll be able to just operate everything from inside the ship. Drop the front ramp or drop the front cargo bay and just use the tractor and throw some stuff in it.
Yeah. All right, let's get started with the goods of CitizenCon, because that's been the theme of all of these 24 hours. As a reminder, I'm going to this has probably been posted in like October ungodly. For CitizenCon's probably a distant memory by now by the time this goes up on YouTube, but it will. We've got a 24-hour. The whole 24 hours has been recorded on YouTube. It'll be on unlisted on the playlist that this is on as well. So check that out if you want to watch the whole thing. If you need that 24 hour, you need 20 for some reason. You need 24 hours of content to get you through a shift or something like that. I don't know why you need 24 hours, but it's, you know, people always tell me that they listen to my videos like and watch this content to like get through various shifts and such. So if you want that, check that out. But let's get started with the goods of CitizenCon. So, Kale, what are your thoughts? What were the good things you took away from CitizenCon?
For me, the resource management that they showed on the Hammerhead. I'm a mechanic by trade, and that was so much fun and so good to watch. And, you know, obviously it's in a blockout state right now, but you know, I can see the direction they're going. I can see the direction that they're pushing for, the hashtag fidelity that they're trying to put into the game. But grabbing the relays, moving them, you know, that's straight up like Scotty from Star Trek. Anybody, Amos from the Rocinante, like all of that. That's what I'm here for. And then the EVA
Haley
stuff
from
like,
Serenity, like the
Yeah.
OG genius mechanic. Well, no, Scotty was the OG, but
Yeah.
anyway.
I know what you mean. And then the EVA stuff that I was watching during Chris's video, like that was it. Like even in a prototype state, that was so smooth. It was so effective. And yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited for that planning stage to really start to show its face. I mean, it's already kind of here, but yeah, that the talk about needing different EVA suits and needing different armor and having a reason for your suit lockers to have different suits. That's going to be like when that really starts to show up, it's really going to change how people play this game.
Yeah.
I think there was also like a follow-up on Spectrum recently, because a lot of devs have been asking a lot of questions that the community has had, is that like different undersuits as well are going to be useful for different applications. Like a racing suit is going to, or a pilot suit is going to be a lot better at handling high Gs in maneuvers, but
Yeah.
pretty much useless everywhere else. So, and you know, and a combat suit maybe could give you more stamina for running or more armor.
Yeah, I mean, I could even see the military suits, the military undersuits being the only thing that you can connect like dedicated military armors to. Like your RSI suit, like might be able to hook up to your max flux armor, but like if you try to throw some ADP armor on there, like good luck.
Darsh, I think you're using the wrong mic, because it sounds like you're using an onboard like camera mic. Hold on. I thought you were just being quiet at first, and then I realized no, that's a room mic.
How's this?
Better, much better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great.
There we go.
You have timbre in your voice now.
Yeah.
Ah, yes.
How about this? Does this work now?
It is spooky
Because
season.
it probably didn't work before when I used it, and
Yeah.
I was wondering why nobody was mentioning that.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Darsh, is there anything that you liked from the CitizenCon that you haven't already mentioned, or anything you have time to chew on it? Or is it the same stuff?
Pretty much same stuff. Yeah, I was gonna check out all the videos, but then I started playing with Galactica, so that went out the window. I was gonna mention the master modes. Has there been much talk about the master modes?
Not really. I mean,
Not
we've talked a
really.
little bit about it.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So I kind of feel like it's going in the right way, but the way they showed it in the first implementation kind of may be the wrong balance. Well, tier 0, everything gets the same treatment, and then they start balancing it. So that's at least how I'm imagining it. But in terms of traversal, yeah, that's probably the way to go. Just because it answers the community's desire to just blindly quantum travel somewhere without actually going there long distances, right? Because imagine that the quantum boost mode, or whatever it's called, quantum traversal, that top speed is still not going to be very high for interplanetary travel, but to go to a moon or back, that'll be nice way to do QCM.
QCM. It's called quantum boost. Is the interstitial one between the fast and quantum.
Yeah.
All right.
Limiting every ship to 300 may be a bit too low for now, I would say. I think they'll raise that ceiling again eventually.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it'll be a hard cap, or do you think they'll allow a little bit of variation in there?
I would say with decouple, they'll allow you to go faster.
Okay. Yeah.
But that I guess top speed would be a limitation of ISCM. But again, I feel like that is going to get balanced. So fast and nimble ships are going to go faster, and in SCM. Without having to go to QCM, but huge ships for cargo that really don't need to go faster will be limited to lower speeds.
Yeah, it makes me wonder. What does the whole sea look like in QCM?
I feel like they'll also tweak acceleration values for the big ships, so it'll take a while just to get to 300 anyway. So.
Okay, fair.
Yeah, I imagine they'll go above the 300 limit for like light fighters and interceptors, but
yeah, just because they have the acceleration to get there very fast. Yeah.
I think the reason why they needed to do that, and the obvious answer, is that fighters are going too fast and they can't do the fast combat. Doesn't work. They want to slow it down. They want to make it more close and they want to make that more dangerous, especially when those small ships are assaulting larger ships. Yeah. So there's going to be some breaks that are just there because you're just going to have to deal with it because it's designed to prevent light fighter meta from dominating the universe forever. So
okay. So on the flip side of that, do you think during the video they said 50,000 kilometers? Do you think that's going to be the same across all ships? Because I mean, do you think a Gladius needs to be able to quantum boost 50,000 clicks versus like a Carrack?
No, I think they're the same. Being the same makes sense. It just the cooldown will matter. The difference.
Mm-hmm.
Like cooldown.
A Carrack will have a slower cooldown speed than a Gladius. But a 50k hard cap makes sense. Just having an upper limit that they can't go. Like a Carrack can go boom, 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 whereas a Gladius has go boom, boom. So like the speed difference is going to be huge. And there'll be very rarely you're going to go over 50,000 kilometers, unless you're a madman.
Well, that 50,000 kilometers is kind of like the average distance from a planet to a moon. Yeah. So you wouldn't really go further in that mode. You would actually just fire up an F point and hit proper quantum at that point.
Yeah. And if you're going in the middle of nowhere, they've already talked about things like scanning and like long range scanning to pick things up and those sorts of deals. So, well,
definitely we'll need the first implementation. When do you actually think we'll get to see this though? 3.18 already?
Not 3.18, but I think we'll be
not 3.18.
No, 4. Yeah, 4.0 is my guess.
I would think this fall of next year. I think a lot of this stuff is going to come out in fall of next year.
Oh, so
Whether-
you think it was that early of a concept?
Yeah, I think they'll have it more fleshed out, because remember that we don't know when that video was recorded. That video could have been recorded in September or October, or September and August. Definitely either September or it could be August.
Yeah, I mean,
they've been captured in the summer, so we don't know.
Yeah, and they've been talking about Quantum Boost for how many months now?
Yeah,
like in the monthly reports.
The monthly reports have been talking about Quantum Boost since January, so they've been developing it for this entire year. So I think they said they've been testing it and testing it. So the issue at this point is just getting it the HUD elements in.
Yeah,
but there's a lot of elements.
And I think the last monthly report also mentioned a VFX pass on the bubble that's created when you're quantum traveling. So that'd be nice, because currently I believe that the front nose wake is still like the last vestige of CPU particles, I want to say, because when you're really zoomed in, like for instance when you're just on the bridge of a Carrack, because the generator is like in your face right here, my FPS tanks to like 15. It's
that's not something I'm used to hearing and talking about Star Citizen. My SPF tanks to 50.
No.
Hey, I remember the days when we got single digits on Beast computers. So
Same.
performance has been great lately.
I've been here since 2013. I remember those days well.
Yeah, those were the days. But yeah, it'd be nice to have an update to all this, especially if they're using the same sort of design language and that we've seen for the Mobiglass update. Oh, I'm so excited about that.
Yes, I saw that. That was nice.
All right, so
just one of the things I noticed in the Mobiglass update is when you have the chat on the side, like the ship chat, there was an Easter egg that mentioned the Morrow tour. So
yes,
yeah,
go
back and watch that.
Yeah. I've been going through each of the different each of these episodes. If you've been watching these sequentially, or if you've been watching this for the 24-hour thing, I've been going through every single one of the presentations, and I talked about the last presentation last session. So now we're on to the freeform session, which was the Chris Roberts and Richard Tyre episode, the 2 hours of them talking. And I'm going to say the good things are, holy shit. The good of that is insane. From the EVA mode alone is game changing, let alone seeing the AI they've been talking about forever in the monthly reports actually actively working, and seeing the trait system work the way that they want it to work.
That AI was gorgeous.
It was great. The thing is, like, I've seen plenty of trolls on the chat these days, laughing like, this is never going to happen, and this is going to happen. It's like they think that this is like something they just put together and it's never going to happen. And my own thought is, I've been seeing them develop this for a year and seeing them fuck it up sometimes for over the course of this year. So it's happening. It's just when, not if. And likely within a year, I would be my guess, by this time next year. But we'll see.
And if not else, it'll be in Squadron 42 when we're not limited by poor server tick rate.
Yeah,
because
it'll definitely be in Star Citizen. It's just a matter of like when they put it online. And Chris Roberts has basically said this is coming online to Star Citizen when they get server meshing. So 4.0, sometime after 4.0 or after. So. All right.
What about the bad?
The bad. Well, starting with you, Darsh, since your last one. The bad, bad, and I'm going to be right back because I'm going to go use the head real quickly. Go for the bad. Here, let me see hear the salt.
Oh, damn. Well, I already talked about the bad last time. That the entire thing understandably lacked a sort of guiding thread or cohesion that we've been used to from previous CitizenCons, where we had a huge demo to get a glimpse of all the features that it would then talk about during the entire CitizenCon in situ, in context, being applied to an actual game scenario. But we didn't have that this time around, so everything felt a bit disconnected, just like a series of very good, very high produced, and very interesting ISC videos, but kind of felt like not a CitizenCon that we've had before. Like, but again, understandably, because time and personal constraints. So, but I already said that last time. Do you want me to pull something original out of my ass, Paul, for this?
You to make something up?
Well, something new, something that I haven't talked about before.
Go for it. Go for it. Did you talk about the last 2 hours?
Nah. I mean, you talk quite a bit. I feel like you're gonna tear that apart, so
Yes,
I will leave it up to you. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. So why don't you go with that, and I'll have a think about what else I can think of.
All right, Kale, you're next. What was the bad of Star Citizen for you, or CitizenCon for you? Star Citizen.
So I get why they didn't do the big keynote presentation, the big keynote mission, and I'm right there with Darsh and several other people that have been on the stream of there was no like there was an up and down. There was not a continual hype build. There was not a continual there wasn't anything in between the different presentations. They kind of brought everything together. Like last year, it was the like, hey, here's the 400i. Here's our new settlement tech. Here's all the cool fun stuff that we're putting together, and here's what it might look like in the game. That's and they were shooting for much nearer future when they did last year's, and this year I understand. I really appreciated the run through Pyro. I appreciated seeing each of the individual panels, but I think I forget who I was hearing it. It might have been a couple tables ago, but it felt like a giant long ISC. And
it's because it was. It was a giant long ISC.
Yeah, and it does harken back to the days after when it was around the verse and reverse the verse. Like I miss those longer form sessions, but at the same time, like the 15 to 30 minute range really seems to be ideal to hold most people's attention for here's the ooh shiny, and then move on to the next thing. So yeah, the lack of a keynote to sort of tie everything together, and then I've had to go back and watch the 2 hour Chris and Richard thing 2 or 3 times now, because I zone out when they're talking. I'm like, no, wait, no, I missed something important there, and I come back, and because it's all important stuff. I think I've heard 2 people mention it, but hearing about what's his name trying to cram Quanta, some extra Quanta stuff into Tony Z. Yes, thank you. Hearing about Tony trying to cram more Quanta stuff into 4.0, and I'm like, how much harder is that going to break PES? If you have a hull A with an AI flying around, and he decides for whatever he gets blown up, somebody tries to gather all that, and then they drop it. It's just, I think somebody earlier said it just right. It should have been 40 minutes. Just bam, 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 bam. Here's the videos. Here's what we're talking about. Here's what we're doing. All right, next.
Okay. I'm gonna start with the bads of the Richard Tyre and Chris Roberts. I'm going to preface this by saying they are very passionate about the game. It's obvious they care about this game.
100%.
But this is a big but. I don't need 2 hours of y'all talking. This is not 2016. This is not 2018. This is 2022. We are no longer in the Chris Roberts talks about his imagined. You know that meme that's you hear of the kid going, "Do you ever have a dream?" But that meme where the kid just keeps going like that. That's what it was. That's
Salty Mike has that as an emote on his channel, and like right before CitizenCon went live, like his entire channel was spamming that. It was so bad.
Yeah, it's not wrong. Like that's what it was for the 2 hours, and I get that they're passionate, but there's also a way to focus the passion in a way that can gain the attention of people. Everyone who's been on this panel up to this point has said that 2 hour thing was too long, too rambly, too drawn out. For effectively 6 to 10 minutes of footage, they made a 2 hour long video, which could have been a 15-minute video or 30-minute video with some commentary. And
has Nubify done a condensed version of that yet?
No, he just decided to put the whole damn thing up on YouTube. He just ripped it and put it up. Like,
I mean, like the one person famous for condensing CR speak just decided not to do that this time around.
I'm sure he will at some point, but I mean, I would need 24 hours of sleep and maybe a good stiff drink to get through something like that. Probably take me a week to go to untangle the ball of yarn that was that discussion. And the thing is that I get why they were talking like that, because even Jared even made that joke, which is like everything they do or say is going to be held under a microscope by community members, by people who just want to see Star Citizen fail, and by the media as a whole. So everything they say is very, very careful. So they have to explain everything 2 or 3 times over and repeat themselves. But what I hear people say, oh, they were repeating themselves. The answer is they weren't repeating themselves. They were saying the same thing 3 different times, because they know that if they say the same thing 3 different times, they can catch the people who didn't get it the first time or who are going to misconstrue it the first time. And even then, they slipped in some things they shouldn't have slipped in, like the skills system. And
we threw out all of the AI.
Yeah. I mean, and to be fair, like in defense of that, they did throw out all the AI because it was garbage.
Right. Yeah, but no, I get it.
But people,
but not the system the AI is running on.
No, it's
like
still
just the actual. Yeah.
It's still subsumption. It's just the baseline. They just started from scratch and went from again. And the reason why was because it wasn't robust enough. It was iCache to PES. They just tossed it because it didn't work right, and then they were continuing to work on it. And
that's kind of the danger when you get to see just under the microscope that we do how the sausage is made in this case.
Yeah. And the thing is that like everything they talked about with like the AI, for instance, like that, I knew that they had done that because they had said so in the monthly reports. But they only
gamers
said
don't rate, Paul.
But they only said it in the Squadron 42 monthly reports. They did send a little bit in the Star Citizen. So it's in the monthly report that no one reads except for me.
Because they think it's the same thing.
I listen to you read it, so we're good.
Yeah, but my point is that like you don't hear Space Tomato, because I know Space Tomato does this as well, and you don't hear Nubify doing it. It's just me, and it's like I am a tiny content creator compared to those two, and everyone else who does this. I am minuscule. Like those videos are usually get plenty of views, but like that's 3,000 views. So that's 3,000 people out of the, what was it, 130,000 peak concurrent players that play Star Citizen at their peaks. That's
4 million accounts, 1.4 package owners.
Yes. And so when it's someone like me who's paying attention to it, and I'm doing this to a small niche group of people who actually care about it, that's tiny compared to everybody else. So I get the context, and anybody else who's been reading it on their own, who had no connections to me, get the context as well. But that's still a tiny fraction of the number of people who actually read it. Because most people's opinions on the monthly reports is it's not worth it. It's just words. It doesn't mean anything. And they don't really get the analysis point of it. But they have to explain. They have to explain why they threw it out, because they know that if they just say we threw it out, and even Chris was like, whoa, we didn't do that because people get lose it, even though they did do that. And the reason why they did that is because it wasn't robust enough, and so they rebuilt it from scratch. But the difference is they rebuilt it from scratch in 6 months. The first time it took them years to build that AI, but they learned all the techniques and how subsumption works, and subsumption's been built as a platform. So all they had to do was 6 months from ground up.
Yeah, I mean, and CIG has been very, very good about lessons learned. I've watched it with their flight models. They're all okay, not their flight model necessarily, but like their planet pipeline, their ship pipeline, their AI pipeline, like their mechanic pipeline, like their game mechanic programming pipeline, like all of those have gotten progressively faster every time they reiterate, every time they inject something new, and
because they have a very, very good tools team to make the tools for them to actually create the game. Yeah, because they don't have to have designers actually code stuff and figure it out, but the tools get made and then they just use the tools to make it.
Yeah, and then too, like I remember hearing a bunch of griping when Montreal first stood up, and I was like, no, you guys don't understand. Like they're going to be like the people that take all of those tools that they have spent the last 9 years now building, and they're just going to run with it. And that's exactly what they've been doing. Like I hear everybody like, oh my God, what do they feed the people in Montreal?
They feed them the tools.
Yes. And on top of that, they're building their own tools to make their workflow even faster. And they're using the tools that have already been built for them on top of the tools they have. So they're taking the stuff that the CIG has already blood, sweat, and teared their way through and going even further. So
right. And this is what, like between 25 and 45 devs right now in a 100 dev studio. Like this is like, people laughed at me when I said they were going to be able to turn out a star system in a few months. And like, now, like it's taken 10 years to build Stanton, but it's taken 9 to build Pyro. Like,
Pyro is it's taken them 2 years, but the thing is the issue is I doubt that they've been sitting there working on it straight for 2 years. It's more than likely that they did a 6 months worth of work, because they did the initial work that they pumped out the planets in and the actual planetary system. And then they started kind of crafting it. And then they found that Pyro wasn't coming out for a little bit longer. And so they're like, let's wait on Pyro. Let's focus on other things and get these other assets done first. So, like the fact that they have all the planets but the gas giant done, and the gas giant isn't really, you're not going to be able to traverse the gas giant really. They're just probably
like you can Crusader.
You can go there, but you're gonna die. And so there's a lot of there's no mechanics really for crush depth like there is in Crusader. So there's no point in building a planet that doesn't have mechanics yet.
And you're just gonna see starfares dipping down into the upper layers and then coming back up with full.
Well, actually, not even. It's hydrogen poor, so you won't even be able to mine it. It's literally just giant
still Stanton isn't done. They're still tweaking Stanton. There's rivers. There's the pressure tech. There's cloud tech's continually improving, and even wow, I'm blanking. R-Corp. In lore, it's not supposed to be a fully built up planet. It's supposed to have oceans. So they're still gonna have to update that. And the Aeron Halo gates, Stanton isn't done yet. So once Stanton is done, they will have the finalized tools and be able to use those on new systems much more quickly.
Yeah. I mean, they've already done so with Pyro. It's just a matter of like priorities and what needs to get done. And right now,
but Pyro has been built with the tools not completed yet.
Yes. Yeah. With not all the features like the rivers and all that kind of stuff that they wanted to. And even then, Pyro's taken anywhere between 6 months and 2 years to get done. When Stanton took 10 or 6. Nyx will take half that, and Castra or whatever else is next will take half of that. It's just a matter of getting those things ready to go.
So systems taking shorter time to be created, and then continually employing new artists. So even that's going to increase the production of these things. Hopefully.
Yep. So these are all, and that's what I really took away from a lot of that. And I know we're getting on to the negative. We're going to more positive stuff, but I was just like, the negative aspect is just the content was good. The presentation was bad. The content that Chris and Richard said were good content. It was important for us to listen to. And I think if anyone who kind of was able to pay attention through it would have pulled it out. But as a teacher, the one thing I can tell you from a teacher critique's point of view, you need to change things up every 20 minutes. If you don't change things up every 20 minutes in terms of getting people moving around or how they're interacting with things, they lose focus. That's the maximum you can go. So don't sit there and rant for 2 hours, because no one's going to listen to you after the first 20 minutes, or people will be struggling to listen to you after the first 20 minutes. And after the first 40 minutes, you're going to start losing them entirely. And by the hour mark, you'll be lucky to get them to continue to pay attention to you. And that's what I've heard from everybody. People are just like, I have people who have ADHD, people who have don't have
upgraded to 4K.
All of those, the people in the community. I don't think a single person has said that 2 hours was easy to get through. I think a lot of people were excited to hear Chris and wanted to hear more of him. But I don't think anyone would sit there and say that was an efficient way of communicating that subject. So, yeah. All right. That's the kind of negatives. Let's talk about the overall impression. Kale, so far with Star Citizen as this year and as CitizenCon, what would you rate this year? Good, bad, average, the best year we've ever had, the worst year we've ever had for both Star Citizen and for CitizenCon?
All right, so Star Citizen as a whole, I think this year has been pretty good.
Okay.
It wasn't, Morph was right. This wasn't the year for Star Citizen, but like you said in an earlier captain's table, like this was a building year. This was the preparatory year, and of course, everybody says, "Oh, we said that last year, the year before, the year before, year before." With PES as a major pillar coming in for full persistence, I think whether or not it works when it first drops, I still think it's going to cap off the year with a high point. With CitizenCon, I was just sort of whelmed. Like it wasn't it wasn't Jared Red 5, but it also wasn't it also wasn't like pay-per-view. So it's like it was good. All the content was great. I enjoyed watching it. I enjoyed listening to it. But I'm just the presentation just sort of left me whelmed.
Darsh?
Yeah. As I said before, as a whole, underwhelming just because of the overall direction or lack thereof. But each segment was very interesting, very welcome. All the aspects of it. Yeah, I think I said before, like a 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I've continued to say, I said this, I go back and forth, but I would say it's a medium for me. It's an average to below average to slightly above average. The one thing I do have to constantly keep myself in mind and remind myself is that this year we got refueling, and we're going to get salvage and cargo refactor and the PES. No one uses refueling because there's no reason to, but we also got Quanta was first added to the game. So like there's a bunch of stuff that was added to the game, but the reason why people feel, I think a lot of people feel whelmed is because it doesn't impact the game. Quanta doesn't really impact you. Refueling, nobody uses it. Salvage is going to be very niche, and even the cargo refactor is going to be mostly just an overhaul of what we have now. It's not going to change anything. It's just going to maybe change how you interact with your cargo. That's about it. Like,
yeah, because it's just we're just thinking it's going to be the timer and physicalized boxes. So if you're able to disable a ship, you can actually breach the door and throw throw the most valuable boxes from that A2 on or C2 onto your Cuddy Black.
Yeah.
Right.
That's pretty much that's the most we might get if we get it for commodities. We know it's definitely in for salvage. That's about it.
Right, because of the little RMC generator chute.
Yeah, that's it. That's all we know is that was necessity, that was required for salvage for that, but we don't know anything else about what it's going to be coming into it. And we know that apparently Tony Z is specifically working on some sort of system for the cargo refactor. So we're desperately trying to cram something in with involving the cargo refactor
and the player cap.
Yeah,
and the player increase.
Yeah, we got over 100, and we went massive performance gains. I went from 30 to 60 FPS in one patch. Like, there's some serious gains. It just doesn't feel like it because it wasn't a 3.0. It wasn't a
it wasn't new features. It was just quality of life upgrades.
Yep.
Yeah.
It wasn't a milestone patch, and so like nobody's talking about all of the stuff that we got over the course of the year.
Stuff people are gonna talk about is the new shift click in the next patch for inventory.
Yeah. And I think we're going to head into next year with more of that as well. I think we're definitely going to be heading into 2023 with that sort of generic experiential like oh yeah, it's going to be more of the same, and then Pyro's going to happen. And that's going to really change people. People like, oh, Pyro. People are going to be shouting it to the winds. But I think even us veterans will just take a look at it and go, yeah, this is Pyro. Okay, it's the same as Stanton. It's not going to be much different.
But it's not. It's not going to be just because of. It'll be a lot less attractive to a lot of people just because of the distances involved.
Yes,
like it's going to be the time of 45-minute quantum travel times again.
Yeah,
my 315 and my Corsair are ready.
Yeah, I mean that's what they're designed for. They're designed for longer hauls. So
yeah, my Carrack with 8800 fuel as well.
Yes. The MSR and the Freelancer
is 88,000.
Yeah.
Just let me park my 315 right on top of your Carrack doors and yeah, right.
Yeah. All right. I think we're going to wrap that up here and move on to the question and answer session. I normally ask one more question, but I think we had a good solid 40 minutes video there. We're going to go into the Q&As.
Nice.
And we're also kind of eating into the next Q&A session a little bit because we got to get done in about 50 minutes. We have 50 minutes, so we got to finish here. So, So thank you for watching, y'all. Check out Kale Katarn on Twitch and YouTube. Check out Darionator at darionator.com, and also
that's the one.
Check out JRDF. .sc for more stuff, like that. Yeah,
stuff like that.
The Carrack, the 200 level. I've got it. It's still not painted, not fully painted. The 1 to 200 scale Freelancer, all the 500 scale stuff. All that stuff's back in stock. So,
we actually had quite a boost. So I think we actually sold out of a couple.
Some people actually bought them.
Oh yeah,
nice. Let's see.
Yeah.
I'm glad to hear that the JRDF is doing well because I remember some of these things were like, oh yeah, we're doing okay. Now suddenly everyone's buying them because people are like, oh well, yeah, this is great. So hopefully I helped help with the model, the mini.
I think that this one is still in stock, and it's a 1 to 40 Tumbril TR. Yeah,
I'm gonna definitely pick that one up because I'm gonna use that as a vehicle for Legion, Star Wars Legion.
It's like this.
It's the exact same scale for Star Wars Legion. This is 1 to 40. Well, I think it's 1 to 32, but it's like almost 1 to 40. 1 to 40 is like about the same. So,
but Star Citizen vehicles themselves are on the bigger side compared to the people. So, what kind of match? Do we deliver to Australia? We deliver all over the world.
Yes, it's kind of expensive. It can be expensive.
It's going to be kind of expensive. Yeah, but we do.
Yeah, the prices are pretty pricey, and then the shipping is really what's going to kill you. But yeah, it's if you're into mini models and stuff like that, it's no different from any other mini model situation, other than maybe cheap plastic from Japan. You're gonna have to pay the pricey stuff. So it's pretty good.
It's jrdf.sc.
Yeah, jrdf.
That's the website.
All right. With that being said, thank you all for watching. Remember, this is a 24 hours live stream, so there is an entire block of just the 24 hours that's up on its own, up on this playlist for this. So you can check this out the entire time, but I'll also be dropping these every 2 days here on my channel to try to get these out there, plus other things. Thank you for watching. Like I say every time, hope to see you someday in the black.